I'll try one. Just for shits and giggles. We won't use it. Hello. Welcome back to Tea and Toasties. I'm one of your hosts, Sabrina.
And I'm the other one. I'm Rich.
And this is episode 16.
Lucky number 16.
Sweet 16.
And Rich did the intro.
Yeah.
We're definitely keeping that.
I guess we're going.
We have to.
Shit. All right.
All right, well, that's out of the way.
I'm confused. Are we recording or not?
You guys, we're trying something different today.
We are. We're experimenting with our delivery.
Typically, Rich gets here and we talk for like an hour in the kitchen.
So it's pre-pod.
We make the coffees, and that kind of does just warm us up a bit.
Right. Wait for the coffee to sink in a little.
Yeah, but then we're like, hold on, stop talking to me. It's like a whole separate pod.
Exactly.
So we were like, let's just get in there right away. Just start going.
Yes.
And then we were like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, so we don't know. We're just kind of feeling our way with this one.
We got Gritty in the studio, sharing a heating pad with Rich.
Yeah.
Cold
feeted
little
people. Well, there's 6 cold feet on this heating pad.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was complaining to Rich that Gritty stopped snuggling with me recently. Just since Erin's been back, kind of suspicious. But now she's here.
Yeah.
She can't resist the heating pad. I don't know if it's like she can sense it, but only when it's on, she's like, hold on. Because this has been sitting here unplugged for days and she doesn't.
Interesting.
But then the second it was on, she was like, whoa.
And it hadn't really warmed up.
Yeah, she was like, wait a second.
Just like us.
I think she's learned what that button sounds like now, that turning
Seriously?
it on.
Ah, could be. Like click reward.
She's already like fast asleep.
And I've got my feet just up against her at the back there, so I think she can.
Yeah, double warmth for her.
Yeah.
And you, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Wow.
If I could get away with it, I'd pop my feet under her, but I just don't. No, we haven't got to that point yet.
If you had your feet down, not crossed, like this, and the blanket completely covering them, she might be like,
possible.
Not see that they're feet and lay on them.
Cats can sleep anywhere, I think. I think I could sleep in a tree. I think.
Oh, you're like a cat?
Oh, yeah.
Not me.
No?
I don't think so. Actually, I don't know. When I was younger, I definitely could. I would fall asleep in the car instantly every time I got in the car, you know?
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah.
Road trip, even just like going to the grocery store, I'm like asleep in the back.
That
lasted until a few years ago. I think I just am too anxious now. I'm like, we're going to crash. Like every little thing makes me like jump up.
Right.
And then I used to sleep in school, in class, on the desk. Classic.
Serious?
You know, head down on the desk. I would sleep.
What, through the lesson?
Oh, yeah.
You get away with it? They didn't say anything?
Sometimes. Depended. Some teachers were like, I just don't give a shit
care.
anymore.
Okay.
Like,
right.
This is your future, you're wasting type bullshit, right? Or they would. I mean, there was one time, like, my algebra teacher or something yelled at me, and then she was just like, you're going to have detention or something. I was like, cool. I don't care. Leave me alone. If that means if I agree, will you stop talking to me?
I think teachers these days would appreciate if all the class would just put their heads down on the desk, go to sleep. At least they wouldn't,
the fuck up,
at least they wouldn't be like throwing shit at them and just screaming and shouting.
I mean, I don't think like high schoolers are doing that. They're just on their phone and shit.
Okay, it's a different.
That would be crazy. Maybe like elementary school. Yeah, no one was ever doing that in my school. It was more just like, I think now the problem is the phones.
Right.
Ignoring the teacher, not listening, just talking to each other.
Right. Texting.
Yeah.
Watching YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest problem. But I don't know what the rules are these days or if kids are just getting sneakier. I don't know.
And they probably allow certain usage of phones in the class, certain lessons.
Well, now they have like everyone has a fucking laptop, like a school assigned
you take it in.
laptop.
Okay. Yeah. Jesus. I remember, our school when it had its first sort of computer class.
Yeah.
You know, and a designated classroom for computer.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it didn't have a suite of computers. It was just like, maybe one or two. The school could afford, you know, we've got a computer, we're special.
Yeah.
And all the kids would be huddled around one computer.
Right.
And, you know, learning a bit of coding I don't know what we were doing, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had that in elementary school. I don't remember what we were doing most of the time, but I do remember we had like typing keyboards. With the paper that would cover your hands.
What's that?
It was like a little keyboard and it had a screen on it.
Right.
And there'd be like lessons or words would just pop up and you'd have to type them. But there was this like flap that would cover your hand so you couldn't see what you were typing. It was like to learn how to type.
Dang, I've not seen that. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. And you would just look at the little screen and it would say like, you know, a sentence and you'd have to type it and it would tell you like.
Without looking.
Yeah. How much you got wrong it was like speed tests on there. Shit. And you would just type. I was so good at typing too. I've got my own way of typing now. I have to glance.
You do look? I was going to ask.
I definitely glance down and I don't put my fingers where they're supposed to go.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun.
I've always wanted to be able to do that, and I've tried it. You know, that's not something we learn at school at all.
You should get one of those. I'm sure they sell them.
Really, I want to try because you know, I'm always typing away, and I have to look. But now and again, I do challenge myself to see how if I can type shit
and I
out.
Can, but then I'm like, God, this is so frustrating.
It is
because then I'm like thinking too much about
what's going on there,
and instead of what I'm typing. Yeah,
that's a great skill.
Yeah, I can't. I almost had them in the right spot, but not quite.
Yeah.
Does that matter
It's good
anymore?
enough, right?
Yeah, I feel like that was a thing back then to learn because there was so many more like jobs where that was needed.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that would be, what's your typing speed and shit like that.
Yeah, I feel like they were just teaching and prepping us for like some reception job or some bullshit like that. Because like why?
Yeah.
I mean, I like that we were getting taught that. Same thing with like cursive, which I actually don't care. The older generations, like kids ain't being taught cursive anymore.
To write?
Can't believe it. And I'm like, who gives a shit? Who's writing and reading in cursive anymore? To write cursive?
I don't know. I like the look of if someone's got a real nice
someone's got it good.
Handwriting, I think there's a skill and art in that.
Yeah.
And definitely people's signatures.
Signature, yeah.
Yes.
Learn how to do your signature at least.
Yeah.
The rest, I don't care. If you can't read it, that's a problem, I guess, because it's like not that hard to read it.
Right. And who's doing much writing anyway? Most people just type in.
Yeah.
Unless you're journaling. But then it's only for you anyway. Yeah,
exactly.
So no one else needs to read it. No one's
writing the Declaration of Independence or something over here anymore. Like
I don't know. I'd love to write like that.
Wait, so we did the intro. We're counting that.
That's countable.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we were like, Sweet 16.
Right, Sweet 16.
Yes. Anyway, this ep. And you
welcome to the ep.
Yeah, feel free. We are just spitballing this at the moment, and I think we'll just revert back to our old format.
No.
Yeah, I'll just come in at 9:30 next week, and we'll chat in the kitchen for an hour.
No.
All right. Episode 16.
Yeah, my lucky number is 16.
Lucky number. It's your birthday day. 16.
That's why it was my lucky number. Because when I was a kid, I was like, I don't know.
So it was allocated to you.
Pretty much.
I
was like, the only number I know that is significant is my birthday. So I guess I'll choose 16.
Yeah. It was kind of like the Harry Potter wand.
Sure, yeah.
It finds you.
Yes.
The day of 16 found you.
Wow. I do love that number. It's looks good, sounds good.
Tell me why you like it.
I don't know. Do you know you just have those letters or those numbers that just feel good?
Yeah.
It's dare I say like severance? When you're looking at all the numbers, you're like, ooh.
You're drawn to it.
Something's going on over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that it's like, okay, maybe I can get to it here. So like the two numbers, it like half of 16 is 8.
Yeah.
2 8s together make 16. And the 8 is like 2 circles. And then those combined, I just like the way that the 2 8s look.
You've not thought about this ever before.
No.
Obviously.
And it's an even number.
Yep.
Which I like.
Yep. Is it a prime number?
I don't know. I forget what that is now.
Me too.
Remember, I was sleeping in my math class.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't too hot at math either. Prime number, isn't it the one where
divisible by something?
Yeah, 1 in itself.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Isn't everything divisible by 1?
Yeah, I just made it up. That's a little bit of housekeeping. Ooh, by the way,
but that's similar.
What?
No, I'm saying like that sounds. It's something like that.
8 is a prime number, right?
I don't know. No, it's not.
What?
16 isn't either.
What?
Prime number is a positive whole number.
Sure.
God, the words that they use.
I'm already lost.
I'm triggered.
Yeah.
A positive whole number that can only be divided evenly.
Yes.
By 1 and itself.
That's what we said.
Leaving no remainder.
That's what we said.
God, I hate this so much. I feel fight or flight in my body.
Yeah.
In other words,
I'm already running out the class.
Dividing a prime number by any other number will result in a remainder that isn't 0. Smallest prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11.
Dude, I think I got it. It was the way you delivered it. All those
the way I delivered it. You mean with Google?
Yeah. All those years of math class didn't sink in, but I think or maybe my brain's got to the point where it's ready.
No remainder? What's a remainder?
This is brilliant.
I'm forgetting what a remainder is. This is a real insight
into our brains, how they're not that side of the math and shit like that.
Hell no.
This is a clear look at creative brains.
Seriously.
Versus analytical, math-minded brain.
God. The thing is, I used to know this.
You did?
I used to know all this, like the simple stuff.
Yeah.
It was just in there.
Yeah.
And like, I know all these things. And then it just got to a point where you're like, what's happening? And then, you just stop doing it because why would you keep doing it? And then you just forget the meanings of these words.
Right, because you got to understand the vocabulary first so you can understand the meaning. Okay, let's break this down.
Composite numbers.
This is going to make us sound so dumb.
Yeah. But that's how our brains work.
Yeah.
And now there's some math nerds listening right now, screaming.
Like, oh my God, these two dummies.
Yeah, that's fine, guys.
My brother, older accountant brother. He's switched off. He's switched off at this point. Prime numbers.
Yes.
All right. So, for example, give me one.
7.
7 can only be divided by 1 and itself and have no remainders left over. It can't be divided by 2, 3, 4.
Oh, because it's 2, 4, 6,
5.
and then there's 1 left over.
Yeah.
3, 6. There's 1 more. 4, and then 4 is 8.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Only by 1 in
coming
itself.
Back to me.
How many ones into 7?
Yeah.
7. How many 7s is 7? 1.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see. Numbers with more than 2 factors are called composite numbers. And the product of 2 prime numbers is always composite.
Dude, that's too much. That's like upper level.
I forgot about composite numbers.
I don't want to go there.
This is really taking me back.
Yeah.
But just doing that alone actually really just triggered me in a way that I'm like, absolutely not. I can't.
Exactly. I'm going back to that
stick with my calculator.
Yeah.
Like long division, I'm sure has changed since I've been.
That just freaked me out as well. I think I was probably worse at math than maybe you. I'm getting a feeling about that. Yeah.
Maybe, but it would just overwhelm me because it built on itself, you know? So then if I got behind in 1 second, I was like, I'm out. And then I'm free falling and freaking out the whole time.
Do you think I think we're obviously established our brains are a lot of sort of, the creative brain, that side of things. But do you think that our brains were born that way, or we basically just chose a path and then because we chose that path, we just said, that the math side of things isn't in our identity, so therefore I'm not going to try hard. It doesn't. Or I'm no. If you're good at something, if you enjoy it, then you're going to work harder at it and become better at it, right? I never was drawn to it. I was drawn to drawing, sure, but not really. Oh, give me some math problems.
But see, I don't think it's a matter of like what you want to do or not want to do. When you're a kid, I think you want to do stuff that feels good, that you're good at. So I don't think you can choose that.
So you can get the praise.
I think you're born with just, not the praise again.
Yes.
I think you're just born with it.
Okay.
Because, you can look back at some kids in your school and they're just like really good at math. And you're like, what the fuck's going on? Or they're explaining it. Like we sat through the same class. Yeah. We took the same notes. Yeah. And then I'm like, can you help me? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they're explaining it as if it's just riding a bike. Right. You just do this. This. I think it's just the way that their brain is. Same way with me with English.
Right.
I'm like, what do you mean you're not getting this?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's harder for some people.
Yeah.
I think you're just born. Because what is it? There's like the left side of the brain, the right side of the brain stuff. I think math and English are on separate sides.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're on the right side,
drawing and math. But then it's like left controls the right side.
Oh, so much.
So many crazy things. Now we're in biology suddenly.
I don't want to be in that class either.
I'm not good at biology either.
Oh, there you go.
Huh.
I was loved English. I loved art class.
Yeah.
I loved PE.
Sure. A break.
Yeah.
I loved lunch.
Yeah. Lunch.
I was so good at lunch.
I was so good at lunch. You should have seen me at lunch. What else? Geography? Meh, not really.
History?
We had a lot more history to learn than you guys.
Sure.
You know?
We just learned, the tea and the...
and the toasties.
The Boston Tea Party.
You learned that little bit.
Yeah.
We had to go way back, centuries further than that. So can you imagine learning all those dates?
I mean, we also went way back because technically your history is our history to a certain point.
Yeah, but your history only starts,
No, but bitch. That's what I'm saying. Our history is your history because that's where we came from.
Exactly.
So we had to learn that and then here. And because then we had a separate class called American history.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We had history. Then we
world
had
history.
World history.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we had American history.
Did you like either one or what?
I hated all of it.
You don't like history?
It was easy enough-ish. The dates, I get what you're saying. That was hard.
To learn those dates.
But I found it so boring.
Yeah.
I did not care. It was so boring.
It was boring. I wish they'd have given you learning tools. Sounds like, from what you've said before, you've got your own little learning tools. You came up with them or your parents told you about them. Mm-hmm. But I wish, if they would said, right, learn this string of dates. Here's an easy way to do it, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
Associate the numbers with something like a story or whatever going on in your head. Or 1066, the Battle of Hastings, right? Let's put those things together in an image and create a story.
I just think, why are they getting us to do the dates? Who cares? Learning the events, why they happen, what led to what. Because I do find it interesting. I mean, it's how we got here.
Yeah.
Certain things, especially world history, more interesting to me than just American history.
American history, right.
Because American history is just like, in the battle of so-and-so.
Yeah.
This racist white man killed this guy. And oh, Jesus, here we go. Another battle, a battle of this and a battle of that. I'm like, I hated the war. Everything was so boring to me.
It's all wars.
It's so stupid. I was like, okay, next. I don't care. And then watching the war movie. Oh,
I know.
But learning these people came from this and this tribe came from here. And then
that's more interesting.
This hieroglyphic was found here and this is what it meant. And I love that kind of history. Mesopotamia, that kind of stuff, the early civilization.
I love that. Yeah, we're tracking back to see civilizations and cultures and things like that. Way more interesting, let's learn about this war. But don't you think there's the lesson of history?
Yes.
Is that all you're showing us is wars?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
And we're not kind of learning?
Well, yeah, it's like I would come home and complain to my mom and she would say, if you don't learn history, you're bound to repeat it. Classic.
Love it.
And I used to just be like, shut up, because I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It does. But at this point in time, I still feel the way I feel because clearly no one's learning shit.
Right.
So it's
nobody's learning
now it just feels like a slap in the face.
From our mistakes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think that your appreciation of world history is developing as you get older?
Probably. I had an interest in it when I was younger, just because I was like, whoa, it feels like start of life kind of thing of going all the way back to all the things we could ever know ever,
Right.
Scientifically proven things. I find that interesting. But as I get older, I'd say so. I think you just start thinking about other stuff.
Yeah.
And also as an American being like, oh, American history is not the most important, like they try to teach you in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
like, no, there's the whole world outside of us.
What?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
Get out of it.
Hard to believe, I know.
Really?
I had a really good class in high school that I loved. It was technically filed under history. What was it called? Social something. Ooh. Not social studies. That's what they called it in elementary school. Government stuff. which usually I wouldn't like.
I would turn me off for that.
But it was the teacher himself. He was
big difference.
The best. Everyone loved him. It was like political also. I'm doing a horrible job of this, but it was super fun. I had over 100 in that class at the end of the class.
What?
He taught us like for a whole month about the like JFK assassination.
Interesting.
And we were all like, with all the theories, and he had all the camera angles and all the things. But the way he taught was very like broad.
Tell me, he was a good teacher. Did he, instead of, what was his teaching technique, right? Did he like stand up in front of the class and he would just talk and you take notes? Or would he get all of you to kind of participate and ask questions? Yeah, it was like
participating, but he would also just like, I don't remember him really writing on the board. He would just like walk around and talk.
Sweet.
Once a week, there was like a quiz, and he would be like, he would tell us exactly what was going to be on the quiz.
Oh, okay.
This question, this question, this question. All these 10 questions are going to be on the quiz.
Learn it.
So basically just memorize this and you'll be good.
Did you take all that? Did you take the quiz to lunch? Were you like studying in lunch too?
No.
Oh, not.
I have a pretty good memory in that way.
What do you mean?
Not photographic, but like I used to do those like memory flip card games when I was a little kid.
Yeah, me too.
And I was so quick at them. I just wasn't. Visually, I'm like, that was there. And I just remember stuff like that. I could stare at a phone number and just remember it. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with the quiz, I would literally just get keywords from it. So I don't know if I was learning anything. I was just memorizing everything.
As with people at school, I used to wonder if they were actually clever or did they just have a fucking good memory? And I think there's definitely a distinction. I used to think, there were a couple of girls at school, and one I thought was innately intelligent. She was very smart. I think she could take information and then, get critical on that and then come up with her own ideas and from that information. Whereas there was another one who she just had this photographic memory and she could regurgitate facts and info. And it was just like she was reading straight out of a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I was just none of that, really. In neither one.
There's definitely both. But I think all the kids that I look back at, and they were like the smart kids in school. You can tell they were genuinely just like doing so much work at home. They were just learning.
I know.
They were just studying. They were doing the most.
Yeah.
I wasn't even doing my homework.
Yeah, me neither.
I couldn't be bothered to just do that.
Nope.
I'm like, I'm not spending 1 second of school at home. Absolutely not. No. But they would go home and just do school all night, basically. They loved it. Either they did or their parents were making them in a way that they agreed to or whatever. Because, and then they would just come back to school with like a whole like over-the-top homework. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, did you do the homework last night? Like, can I copy your homework? Scribbling it during morning announcements quickly.
Yeah. I was definitely one who I had to work at it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't, it showed. And on a lot of subjects, I did not work at it.
Yeah.
Especially later on, I had a base knowledge that got me so far, right? And then I was good at the creating stories and the handwriting and the creative shit.
Yeah, English I didn't have to think about.
No. That got me so far.
Yeah.
But once I went into the high school age, and you're bringing in children from all the other schools into one school. I went from, in elementary school, I went from being like top of the class to suddenly being, not so much, more middle of the road, I always thought that I'd become a football player.
Didn't we all?
Yeah.
Not me, but
I put all my chips into that.
Yeah.
Every instead of coming home and doing my homework, I would just get the football, go to the park or kick it about outside, practice my stuff.
But see, I think I hate the structure of school in that way because you could have been devoting so much more time to that just because it wasn't math or science or something that you were passionate about. You still had a clear passion. Yeah. I think that's all that really is important
if you've
for kids. If you just have something that you care a lot about and that you're putting work into.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Then that's all that really matters.
That should be encouraged.
Yeah.
I think for anyone, isn't that like something we all struggle with is to know what our passion is.
Yeah.
You know, what is the thing?
Me,
yeah, right.
And I think that's the problem with kids now, the generation coming up, also my generation. That's all that was drilled into our heads when we were kids. It was like, you don't have time for sports. You don't have time for this because you have to focus on school. School is the most important. Get the good grades, do your homework, spend all your time grinding at school so you can go into a good college. Yeah. Then you get a degree just to come out of college with a mountain of debt, a degree that no job wants to hire you for. No, you have to have all this experience to get the job, but then no job wants to hire you without experience. How do you get the experience? All this stuff. So now we're sitting here floundering with everything that costs so much money. And we're like, wait. It's like a little midlife crisis in our 20s of like, wait, I spent all that time doing all that for what when I could have been. Right.
I was sold on this format.
A fake dream.
I was
sold
told
to me.
that if I do this, this, and this, I'm going to end up with the dream job. Yeah. And I'm going to be able to pay off this debt. Yeah.
Everyone's like, I'm going to be married with kids and a house. And it's like
mid-20s, everything's going to be set. My life will just be golden. Nope. So what are you saying, mate? That like the system's fucked?
Yeah. Newsflash. In case you guys didn't know.
Does it need to be addressed and brought more in line with what's going on?
Yeah, but luckily, it seems like we're on the right path.
What do you mean by that?
That was so hard to say.
What is that path?
The biggest bullshit. Down the drain. Honestly, throw it all out.
I think
we need the meteor about now.
We're only as good. Let's have a rant. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Are you right now?
Let's bitch it.
Damn.
Yeah, you're not ready?
All right. I said my side. I'm ready for the meteor to come.
Yeah, but
I'm ready to get me off the ride.
That triggered me. I think you've got to address the systems. You're only as good as your systems, right?
Dude, we can say this all day, but it's not never, but what the fuck are we going to do about it? We can't do shit about it.
We can bitch about it.
Yeah, that's not going to do anything but piss me off.
All right. Let's change the mindset. Flip the switch and just show you how we can do that. Go into a positive mindset. You know I love to be in that zone.
You do, but I was gonna pivot.
Let's pivot.
I don't know if it's quite so positive because it was a good transition.
Love it.
Into
segue,
we're talking about high school, and writing, and I found something from my high school or middle school time that I wrote.
Yes, from your keepsake box. Yeah. That we delved into, was it last ep or the ep before?
A couple episodes ago.
Okay.
Yeah. We talked about the keepsake box.
The keepsake box.
We did the fortunes from there.
The fortunes.
And then I was just on this like wave of the keepsake box.
Yeah,
I was just like, I want to.
Dived in there.
I want to get in there. It's been a few years since I've been in there. Yeah. And my mom was over the other night and I found this folder and it has all my like notes and stuff in it from school, like some journal entries, some notes from friends, like passing notes. Yeah. And I found this one paper and it's printed, typed up and printed.
Oh, from the computer room.
From the computer. And I was like, what is this? And I see it, the format, it's very obviously like 3 paragraphs, like beginning, middle, end kind of thing. And I was like, the format is giving like school assignment, maybe.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, and it must be because I would never just like type up and print something just for me. Yeah, right. That seems a bit like.
So you think it was an assignment? Extra.
So yeah, I think it was an assignment, but I kept it for whatever reason. Also, reading back, I was like, I turned this in to a teacher. Okay. That's kind of crazy, but I read it. Yeah. To my mom and to me because I was like, what is this? I started reading and then I was like, oh my God.
Oh, so you started reading to yourself and then thought.
No, I started reading it out loud.
Out loud.
And I didn't know what was coming next.
Right.
It was a bit emotional.
Go, tell me.
And I was like.
Tell me more.
I was just blown away by it.
So do we know how old?
There's no date on it, but from context clues, I'm thinking middle school.
Middle school, okay.
Middle school, high school.
Okay.
Late middle school, early high school. So that's like 14, 15.
Not 16, episode 16.
14, 15, 16. It could be 16 as well, yeah.
Well, would you be willing, do you have it?
I do have it. Yep, I can read it.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I can read it.
Mind?
It's not a trigger warning or anything. I was going to say maybe, but no, it's not. Maybe to my mom, she's already heard this. But we'll discuss after more thoughts.
About it?
Yeah.
So you're going to read it now?
I'm going to read it.
Would you mind, pause that thought.
You're going to go pee?
Yeah. But look at this. I just want to highlight this.
Oh, wait. Photo.
I know, this is...
It's Gertie snuggled in the feet.
Oh, look at that. She's actually posing for this now.
She really is.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, my.
She knows this is happening. She is playing to the camera here.
That's so cute.
That's sweet.
Y'all got to head to the Insta for that
That's going
one.
on the Insta.
That's adorable.
Yeah, that's going on the Insta.
Aww.
And sock watch. Luckily, I've got matching socks and no holes. So.
She's just like holding onto your foot.
She's like, don't go, don't go.
Tea and Toasties is supported by Alphabet Art Photos.
Hello, Governor. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like something was missing in it? You know, that one blank wall that just screams for attention, but you have absolutely no idea how to fill it?
Oh, I know that feeling oh so well, y'all. It's like you want something unique and personal, but everything you find is just, well, generic.
Spot on, geezer. We have the perfect thing for you. Alphabet Art Photos is a small biz on Etsy that's sprucing up wall decor with their niche alphabet photography.
Yeah, I hear those folks create beautiful personalized art by using photos of everyday objects that resemble letters of the alphabet. Y'all can spell out your's name, a favorite word, or even a meaningful date, such as a wedding, graduation, even when you folks get to retire. It's like having a piece of art that's truly yours.
Imagine strolling into your living room and spotting a sorted, personalized piece that not only fills the space, but also kicks off a bit of conflab, innit? It's a brilliant way to dazzle your guests and make your gaff feel more like, well, you.
And Lord, it don't stop there. I reckon Alphabet Art Photos can transform any room. Your office, your bedroom, heck, even your kid's playroom into a space that shines brighter than a silver spur on a brand new pair of my dancing boots.
Also, supporting this lot means you're supporting a vibrant small business on Etsy. You're not just buying art, you're investing in someone's proper dream. And I know they'll be chuffed to bits.
Well, I do declare, if you're chomping at the bit to turn those blank walls into a masterpiece that reflects who you are, head over to Alphabet Art Photos on Etsy. Trust us, your future self will thank you.
Yes, mate. Make your space uniquely yours and let your walls do the talking. Use promo code TNT30 at checkout for 30% off your order of Alphabet Art Photos. That's etsy.com/shop/Alphabet Art Photos, promo code TNT30.
All right. So, yeah, you found this in your keepsake, and you've got it right there, right?
Yeah, I found some other ones too that were hilarious.
Yeah.
That maybe I'll read one after.
Yeah.
From Younger Me, just journal entry, a true journal entry. The second one I found, but it's kind of a long one, but it's good,
dude. So this is the three-part. Well, the three paragraphs.
Yeah,
and
you can see it's very like
it's really
the paragraph format, and it's signed my name at the bottom.
You signed it? Can I see?
Well, it's not my signature; it's typed.
Okay.
But yeah, usually when you write a paper, you have to do the whole. What's that called? They call it something at the top. We're really going with throwback for school stuff here.
Yeah, we are
where you have
today.
to do your name and then the teacher and the class and the date. I forget what that's called. It's like
it's a shame you ain't got that on there.
But yeah, it's not on here.
So your feeling is that you presented this as a class paper to a teacher. This was asked,
just like a quick assignment or something. I don't think this was like an essay. I mean, it's just one page, but
yeah,
I don't know. It seemed the way it's written is giving assignment,
right.
And also, like I said, I would never just type something out
and
print it.
Right.
I journal a lot, and it's all just handwritten.
It wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah, so I think it was.
So the like assumption is that this landed into a teacher's hands,
which
and
is
they
crazy.
read it.
Because I remember I read it to my mom, and I said the same thing, and I was like, and then the teacher didn't like contact you.
Well, I'm so intrigued to hear this.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Vulnerability corner, here we come.
Okay.
This is like revealing a lot about me.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
not a lot, but
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I
jumping
think
into the vulnerability
it's worth
space.
the read. It's worth the read because I had a lot of thoughts about this after I read it.
Well, I'm interested in those too.
The gist is it's about self-esteem.
Okay.
So I think that was the assignment or something.
Right.
You know,
to talk
what does
about
self-esteem mean to you or something like that. Okay, here we go, guys.
Okay.
Middle school, high school me. Oh, God.
I'm nervous.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
All right, it says, I've never really ever thought about my self-esteem until now. I would say that on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably about a 4. Most of the time, I'm pretty confident in what I say and do. It just depends on the situation. If I'm with my friends, my self-esteem is probably a 10. Not so much around people I don't know. I don't like trying new things because I'm always afraid I will look stupid or someone will judge me, which 90% of the time, they are. I've never considered myself popular before. When I look around all of my friends, the popular girls, my self-esteem just seems to drop to the floor. They're all so much prettier than me. Like that isn't bad enough. The guys don't even pay any attention to me because I'm just that Mexican girl. I know guys shouldn't be the judges of how pretty girls are, and I don't think that they are. It would just be nice to have some of them think I'm pretty every once in a while. Now, my friends tell me I'm pretty and how they wish they look like me and all of that, but that's just because they're my friends. Everyone gets told that. Some days I'll get up and think I look halfway decent, but most of the time I hate how I look. Every day I force myself to get up, roll out of bed, and make it through the day. I cannot stand school. I just don't like seeing everyone. I plaster a smile on my face and I try to be nice and do what my teachers expect when all I want to do is be at home sleeping. My parents expect more from me, and they don't understand why I sleep all the time. I tell them it's to get away from everyone and everything, but they just think I'm lazy and they don't understand. I don't like hanging out with my friends. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a sleepover, or a birthday party, or anyone at my house for that matter. My friends always ask me if I want to hang out, and I have to make up an excuse because I would rather be alone. I've had a couple of experiences that have affected my self-esteem, good and bad. Let's start with the good. All of my parents' friends always say I'm gorgeous. It means a lot, makes me feel good about myself, but no matter what they say, their opinions don't seem to be as impactful as my peers. Any adult can come up to me and tell me how pretty they think I am, and I will thank them. But if one of my classmates came up to me and told me that, I would remember it for a long time, especially if it was a boy. Boys don't call me pretty very often, so when someone finally does, it does make me feel better about myself. I've had boyfriends recently, but it never works out because of me. I always think I'm not good enough for them, and I end it. Now, if one of my classmates came up to me and told me I was ugly, fat, worthless, annoying, stupid, etc., I would believe them, and it would impact me a lot. I would do anything to try to change myself and make those statements false. Every once in a while, someone will come up to me and say, "You look pretty today," or something along those lines. I know that's supposed to be a compliment, but I don't take it that way. I feel like if I look good that day, then what did I look like every other day? Ugly?
Wow. Okay.
So recently, I've realized that I have issues with my self-esteem, and I've been thinking of ways to change that. I've considered putting more effort into what I look like. I've pretty much given up on trying to look good because no one's going to notice anyways. So that's an option. I could also try to change my attitude. I always look at the negative side to everything. I think that's finally starting to take over me. Lastly, I could help others with their self-esteem. If I tell people they look good or something to boost their confidence, it will make them happy. I mean, treat others how you want to be treated, right? I want to feel pretty and worth something, so I'm going to try to make others feel the same. Also, just because someone looks happy on the outside, it doesn't mean that they are. They could go through every day hating themselves and just wanting to die. Just a simple smile or a comment could save their life.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Oh.
Did that get you?
It did.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. I read that and I was just like, whoa. It was like for the first time I could see myself outside of younger me. And I was just like looking at this little person and I was like, oh, it'll be okay. But it was also interesting because the way I was writing and the way I was thinking is very much my brain still. Just the fact that I was just thinking of all this stuff and the way that I was putting it together in my head is like how I be thinking about stuff now. It was just so much different then. And also like, this is such a cry for help paper. Like the end where I'm like, oh, someone could just like hate themselves. And I'm like, yeah, I wonder who that is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. You've just
He's gone a bit emotional,
You
guys.
just got me.
Yeah.
You got me. You got me. Yeah. So, wow. I'm not surprised. Jeez. That's a lot of takeaways, a lot of things to unpack from that.
Right.
So many. So I remember when you told me that you'd found this, we were back and forth a little bit. You know, I didn't want to hear it because you said that, you know, perhaps we could go through this on the pod and it would help. It would be helpful to other people. And also on the back of the previous ep, it would make sense and tie in nicely.
Right. It was kind of serendipitous that I had found it.
Very much so.
And then, I told you basically just, I found something that I wrote. I want to share it, but maybe we'll wait for the pod.
Yeah.
So you didn't have much info
to go on. No.
Yeah.
And you gave me a little bits and pieces. You told me about your mom and the fact that she was just pissed off that this basically landed in a teacher's hands in front of their eyeballs, an adult.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And they didn't do anything. They didn't follow up with this. They did not approach you and say, hey.
Because I don't remember this at all.
Like, you don't remember writing this?
At all. Which was then a bit jarring too of like, damn, this was just a look inside my brain at that time.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea it was this obvious almost.
Right.
But yeah, it did make me want like, what? Because at 28, I can read this and be like, yeah, this is like a cry for help.
It's screaming.
Yeah.
Absolutely that.
Yeah.
It is.
And a teacher just read it. It probably was like, oh, teenager. She's so dramatic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But they should be, you would have thought, trained. Even if, you know, you're not trained. They could have been a mother, a father, whoever's eyeballs this landed in.
Yeah.
They surely would have known that, okay, this is a cry for help. You've given us the assignment. Maybe the assignment was given, you know, self-esteem. Yeah. Just to gauge the room, see how everyone's doing, how everyone's feeling about themselves. And if you get this on your desk as a teacher, as an adult, as a human being, I feel that that person had the responsibility to actually go, hey, Sabrina or Sabrina's parents, let's involve them. Let's loop them in and just say, hey, this landed on my desk. I feel we need to talk to her. And is everything okay at home? You know, just these things, something.
It makes me wonder what everyone else's was. You know, if theirs was just like, I'm good at sports. I feel great about my self-esteem or like, what was it?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's like the specifics in here of me saying like, I just want to be sleeping all the time.
Well, let me ask you this. So reading back, you've read this back a couple of times now. And what's your feeling about this now? Are you glad you've got this?
Definitely.
Why is that?
Because I think it's so easy to discount how you're feeling, especially younger
I know, right?
Or just be like, yeah, whatever. Or just like, it's hard to, you can have memories, but it's hard to put yourself back there. In such a way.
Yeah.
And when I read this, it was like I was instantly back there.
That age again.
But not just me. It feels like I'm looking at someone else. It's like this is a different person reading this to me. Because then it's also, there's so much focus around my peers and popularity and the boys liking me and boys this, boys that.
And what if people think you're pretty or not.
Which I don't have that now.
Right.
That's the least of my concern is being pretty.
Right.
But like in high school.
That seemed to be like the real your main, that's the theme throughout. Not throughout, but it's a running theme.
When you're 16 or younger, self-esteem means how you look.
You tie it in with your looks.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that is a lot of the focus here. But it is funny that I said, I don't think boys should be the judges of how pretty girls are.
I think that's awesome.
And I don't think that they are.
Yeah.
I was like, but it just fucking feels that way.
Yeah. But for you to be saying that back then, I know that's so smart.
So it's like, I knew it back then, but I couldn't help because that's just the environment that you're in high school, I think.
Yeah.
And all the popular friends of yours and this and that. And it's that that whole the Mexican thing I said, because all the boys I liked were like the pretty white boys, the popular, and they always went for the blonde, pretty white girls. Because and I was like, they're never going to like me, this brown girl.
Right.
Oh, and then same thing about my parents' friends, older adults telling me.
Yeah. But
I'm like, sure, whatever.
Right. You didn't weigh that in as heavily as what you wanted from your peers, it seems.
Yeah.
And especially your concern. I mean, you're going to tie in self-esteem with looks, especially at that age. It's probably the main thing, isn't it, at that age, is because you're trying to fit in, you're trying to get friends, boyfriends, girlfriends. You're trying to find your way. Yeah. And unfortunately, especially at that age, a lot of that is just tied in with your looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I also had it's like I couldn't understand it at the time, but I was like, I want to make my parents and my teachers proud, do what they expect, but I just can't for some reason. And then that was like affecting the self-esteem too, where I'm like, my parents are disappointed and oh no, and they just think I'm lazy. And so then there was not looks, but other stuff going into the self-esteem there, where I'm like, I'm failing everywhere. My parents don't like me. My teachers don't like me. My parents don't like me.
But I feel was rooted in the low self-esteem from this idea that you were doubting yourself and you weren't getting that the recognition, the support from your peers or boys, or you wanted it from them. It was important to get it from them and not adults. Yeah. Because it was weighted more heavily with your peers. And
definitely. And it's like that whole old soul thing too, which is like a good thing, but can also be a bad thing. Because I think looking back now, it's like, sure, that's a compliment. I'm glad that my brain is the way that it is. Absolutely, in that way.
Yeah.
But when you're a 16-year-old, all you want is the cool, popular people to like you, not your parents' friends or adults.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Oh, true that. Yeah.
You know? Which it is, I think, inherently a compliment. Like, you know, being an old soul and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think I was just thinking, like, why is my brain like this? Why can't I fit in with the popular kids? Because they're not talking about this kind of stuff. Yeah. They're just thinking like surface level stuff.
Exactly.
And I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I
going way deeper? Why am I overthinking?
Why am I thinking about these
things?
Why
am I thinking about the things that people aren't even, you know, they're not even, that's not a concern for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why do only adults like me? What's wrong with me? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Just, it unveils a little bit. It's quite revealing.
Right. I'm curious for you. You know me now. Obviously, there's like emotions and stuff tied to it. Just hearing it, I'm sure you're like, because you care about me. But hearing like me as a younger person writing this, I guess, I don't know what question I have, but because when I read it, I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. And just like, oh, I've always done this.
It seems, I'll kind of draw the question out of there. What crossed my mind a little bit as you were reading it, some of it you could have been reading, you could have written it yesterday. You know? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like
some of the insights. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the bits and pieces or, you know, the pretty thing and this, that and the other, but just the underlying tones of it.
Yes, the tone.
You know, it kind of, it crossed my mind because what I was trying to do was really not think while I was listening. I wanted to just pay full attention to it. Yeah. And the words and what you were saying so that I could fully absorb it, right? But what I got from that was the tone. And something that just really crossed my mind straight away was like, it's Sabrina. It's definitely Sabrina. And she could have written this just yesterday in the tone of it. Yeah. And what I got from it was this poor, I don't know how old little girl. Yeah. It was a cry for help. She was depressed. She had a lot of self-doubt. Yeah. It just made me sad. Yeah. Yeah.
For me, it was almost affirming because I remember in that moment, I would never have said I was depressed. And even looking back, it was hard for me. Like, oh no, I didn't get depressed till college or late high school. Okay. But looking back, I'm like, no. You definitely were way earlier than you thought you were, which almost then makes me paint a better vision for my past self.
Yeah.
Instead of just thinking, oh, I just used to be really like lazy, and I used to be really,
right.
I didn't care about anything in school. And
there was a deeper issue going on.
Yeah. That was a narrative I had for myself back then.
Right.
But reading this, I'm like, oh, it clears it up, where I'm like, no, I was unwell. Like there was something wrong in my brain, just chemically something was off. So that made me feel better in a weird way.
I guess it gave older you, now you, some kind of valuable, truly valuable insight into why you think the way you do now, or these patterns, these behaviors.
Yeah.
You know, you're probably frustrated with yourself now. It's like, why this? Why that? And why do I do this? But this is like pure concrete evidence of why.
Going back, I'm like just so introspective. Even then. But like I said to you, before you knew what I'd written about, was it's looking at me. I have all of the, what was it? I had the same brain. Yeah. Just more answers now.
Yes.
Because this, I was like so unaware. So young. So questioning. Yeah. So
what's going on with me?
So everything. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, like I could see like you said, the tone. I can see myself writing this now. Very different words, but same tone. And because now I just have the answers. Like if I were to write about self-esteem now, it would be so different.
Ooh. I know,
right?
You know, if you could do that. Yeah. Assignment, this week's assignment. Yeah. By the way, so well written. Yeah. I don't know how old you were there, but that's so well written.
That's my writing. You know?
And there's no like, you know, a teacher's pen on it, no red pen.
I know. What's going on with that? I was wondering too.
Where is that? Like, there's no grade on it.
There's nothing. Yeah. It's just barren.
Do you think they read it and they were like, oh, I don't know what to do with that?
I don't know. Or if they weren't like if it was just like a quick class assignment and they weren't expecting me to go this hard, maybe.
Right.
Because it does kind of seem like a stream of consciousness. It doesn't seem like
absolutely
a homework assignment. It seems just like in the moment, I type this up, print, done, send. Yeah. The way it's written is so funny, where it's like the first paragraph of never thought about self-esteem till now, and then it's like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. It's definitely assignment given.
And the second paragraph is like, okay, here's the good and bad experiences with it. Boom, boom. And then lastly is wrapping it up, and here's 3 solutions to the problem.
Yeah. It's very well thought out. I mean, just the teacher in me, past teacher, I'm just like, this is a very good piece of paper. I could where's my red pen? What would you say now to that little girl? Yeah. You know, and imagine this, right? Imagine there's parents listening to this or teenagers listening to this and going through similar thoughts about self-esteem.
Yeah.
And now you navigated your way through all of that. You know, you found your way, you found your path, and you've grown, you know, just since I've known you, you've just, you know, you've grown, and your confidence has grown, and you're becoming this person that, you know, you're just going to be, you know, who knows where you can take it. Yeah. But what would you say to that little you?
This person.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first read it, I just was like, oh, like my first thought was just like, oh, girl, it's going to be okay. Right. It's as simple as that. Right. Like, it's going to be okay. I did think of the teacher, though, because, what did they just discredit this as just teenage angst, drama, you know, overly dramatic stuff. You know, I think that's so easy to do as a parent, as an adult, as a teacher, as a friend. It's just like, oh, God, they're just so emotional and dramatic now. Where it's like, no, like, this bitch needs therapy. Right. This bitch needs medication, maybe. Like she needs some help, like in a real way. Yeah. She needs to be affirmed. She just needs like someone to tell her like
it's okay.
You're right. Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
And instead of just like we'll do this, do that. It was because I remember in the moment feeling very just like shouting and no one's listening. I can't do school. I don't know why. It's so hard for me. And then everyone's just saying, too bad you have to, kind of thing.
And then little you obviously is pushing back on that because that's just you.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't do it. And I don't know why. And it was like, I felt very like why can't I just do what everyone else is doing? Why is this so hard for me to just show up and do the school and do the homework and be happy about it and do the extracurricular?
Yeah.
It was just a lot of that. I don't know, just like someone to understand, but not to discredit my parents, because when I did read this to my mom and she did have a reaction, and I know probably what the reaction was like, oh my God, how did I not know this was going on? Or feeling bad, did I fail as a parent kind of vibe, probably, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Which is
not,
think
that, right?
I was very much, I didn't say this shit out loud either.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you didn't go up to your parents and go, hey guys.
So on the surface, like I wrote, it just looks like I'm lazy, or at least that's what I thought my parents were thinking of me. That was my fear.
So we're implanting our thoughts, what they're thinking. They could have been thinking something completely different, you know, who knows? And
this, what it did prove to me as well was like, oh, this also is why I put so much weight on relationships, and I was such relationship to relationship, like forever. Yeah. And I always was like, why can't I just be happy without it? And it was like, I just put so much weight on the approval of boys, men, whatever, for whatever reason. And I kind of think my early relationship kind of played a part in that. That makes sense why that took so long for me to break out of that too.
Because for you weighted that so highly, it seems, from there. Yeah.
But luckily in a way where I still knew that boys weren't the end all. So it was like I believed it, but not really. Yeah. I didn't believe it, but I still wanted it. Right. Was kind of the thing.
It's probably because that was just what was going on.
Yeah. And the zeitgeist and the media and everything. It was like, that's just what it was. That's what you did.
See, that's funny now. It strikes me now as like, you know, that doesn't bother you at all, because you're just, I mean, at all. I'm not going to discredit the whole thing. But just, you know, it's way less important for you is you don't need, you know, some approval from a guy. It's like you've got that strength within yourself.
And it's like, because of this, it's like I got through. It's like, okay, well, if no one cares about me because of my looks, then like I have to pivot. Because now I don't care about that at all. That'd be the last thing I think about. I don't care if someone thinks I'm pretty or ugly or weird looking or, you know, I don't think about that at all. If I like the way I look, then I'm cool. Yeah, of course, everyone has their days like, oh God, I look like shit, you know, which is normal. But it's not a big deal. And I think I just be getting older maybe, but also I had to like almost throw it away as an option when I was younger.
Really?
Is what it sounds like I'm writing, where I say like I could try to look better, but no one's going to notice anyways. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, that's not doing anything for my self-esteem. So I need to find it somewhere else.
My path, my lane in some other area. Yeah. Well, where did you head? Where did you go?
I don't know, to be honest. I just went personality based on it.
All right.
I don't know. Honestly, it's like, it sounds so, oh my God, so cheese. But like when I met Santina, we really became tight. It was like, oh, whoa. Okay. Like this is like a real person. Right. No surface level bullshit. Because we became friends on like a deep level. I mean, because we bonded over like being fangirls. Right. Of boy bands and
One Direction.
And that was like stuff that we both kept very close to our chests, because it was like embarrassing, quote unquote, to openly be like that in school. And it was a very secretive thing that we both kept, but then found out that about each other. And then we were able to just be like all in on that, revealing all this stuff. And then we bonded over that. So it was like, we bonded at the core deep level first, and then everything else followed. Versus when you're in high school and you're like, oh, this is the other popular person I want to be friends with. Right. Because it's all surface level shit. Right. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's like she made me like myself for the inside stuff that I was hiding. Yeah. Or thought that I should be hiding.
Right. Because you were worried that perhaps if I reveal this, then my peers, the people I want, because who doesn't, I want respect, or I want to be included, that they would be, what is this? What are you into? Yeah. If you're not doing the norm, what everyone else is doing, that that conformity, then you're different.
Yeah. And then we just went to college and we just we're like unstoppable together. We just shined together, fed off each other. People liked us and people thought we were funny and people had all these other thoughts, not just about looks and like the high school shit about us. We were like, okay, wait, are we cool? Are we funny? Are we this? Are we that? And it was like, yeah, we actually are. We're cool. We have great personalities. Right. And we just like rode off that.
And then did you feel that then people, because you had this connection, you two together as firm friends, ride or dies, is that then you got other people that wanted to be around that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like, oh, I want to be in part of this.
So that was a bit really like, that shifted of like, oh, there's way more important things in life, which is the relationships and the friendships.
I was going to ask, so when you found Santina and you guys found your way, your thing, your path together, was there for you less importance like on boys perhaps? Did you find that less like, I don't need,
Well, I was with someone for that whole time on and off, middle school to college basically. And then Santina came in during that time. She knew all the ins and outs of all that relationship basically. And then she's the one that helped me break up with him basically in college.
Right.
Gave me the confidence to be like, I don't need this. Yeah, because I was like, oh, finally my life is so much, it has a bunch of good things in it, not just this one person.
Yeah. So too much reliance on this guy.
I was able to cut that.
Yeah.
And then just, lived great.
Amazing.
Free.
So you felt free, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
After that, yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's, curious, what were you going to, like, your takeaways now from it? And how is that? Are you going to, like, take that and use it as a positive for your life now? And how would you do that?
I don't know if I am, to be honest. I think all I'm going to take away is just, the biggest takeaway is what I had said about just affirming my past and rewriting the narrative that I had for myself in the past me. I don't think it's going to do anything to future me or now me. Yeah, I don't want to put too much weight on it because I have changed a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing it did was just, rewriting what I thought about myself at that age.
Yeah.
Because now as an adult, it's so clear.
Yeah.
I wasn't a piece of shit. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. The things that I thought I was. Just some lazy teenager.
Yeah.
Who didn't care about anything.
There were underlying reasons for the behaviors.
Yeah. Now I'm like, oh, okay. I see. I see.
And actually, it was like this girl she had thoughts and issues and concerns that.
And I was so alone.
Yeah. That must have been tough.
Because I was just all in here in the head. I wasn't talking about anything.
Right. So would you say, I'm just going back to a little bit about how people, if someone's going through this right now of that age, what kind of advice would you give? Yeah,
I think just talk to people, talk about it. Because I think thinking about it in this way is good. That I did. I don't know, write a paper on self-esteem, I guess. It's easier said than done to talk about it, right? Because even I had like great parents, great relationship with it. We were so open as a family.
Right.
We talked all the time. We had like the family dinner every night. I mean, me and my mom were like besties back then, still are, but so I can say that. And I had that scenario. I can't imagine if you had a different, worse situation.
You got no one to talk to.
I think just stick it out, really. That's like the cliche. But it's true.
That's great. Yeah.
Stick it out, get through it.
Yeah.
Find your joys in life in the everyday somehow.
Yeah.
Because, looking back, I'm like, I couldn't have fixed it because it literally is like a chemical imbalance in your brain. That's what depression is. And at that young age, I'm trying to navigate, trying to solve it, trying to fix it, trying to figure out why it's happening. Yeah. You can't. And
you're just a kid.
Yeah.
You ain't got the answers.
No. And so, of course, you're just looking at all of the reasons why this could be happening.
And you're probably blaming yourself.
Yeah. Well, my friends are doing this. I could just do that and I'd probably be happy. Yeah. And then you do it and you realize you're not. And you're like, what's going on? Yeah. You just get defeated.
Yeah. You're chasing the happy. You're trying to fit in, trying to conform. Why am I different? Yeah. And then all the self-doubt creeps in. And then you're a human brain with like kids tools. You haven't got the experience
I know.
at this point.
That's what I had said. Yeah. It's the same brain. Yeah. I just have more answers now.
You've developed a toolkit.
Yeah.
You know, as you've been through life itself and got the experience and talked to people and gleaned more information, and you now know, you know, you can apply this adult brain to the same problem.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But back then it was like, oh my God, this child who was just dealing with this.
Yeah.
With none of the toolkit.
No tools.
No.
And just the dynamic of you have your friends and your people at school and your parents.
Yeah.
That's the two situations in life. That's it.
There's no Google back then.
There was Google. I'm not that old. But like, you know, there's no many examples of interactions and relationships and the way people are.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, these are my peers and these are the parents. It's like, well, which one do I want to be like?
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to be like the peers, but then everyone's playing that high school game, so no one's actually being themselves. It's very tricky. Where do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like I can look around and I have many different scenarios to look back on. And different people in my life that I can go to, and you know, it's not so black and white.
There's more, no, not so boxed in. There's more options. There's different sources that you can go to and find out, you know, oh, I've got this problem, this issue. As an adult, let me explore and find out, you know, if I want to find the answers. You know, you can do it, and you can ask different people from different walks of life, experience, ages, whatnot, peers. But back then, oh my God, you just cut loose and you're left to deal with all this going on up here.
And the developmental stages of your brain.
I mean, there's enough shit going on anyway.
So much. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It was wild back then. It really just took me back. I also think I went through some fucked up shit like right after this. Right. Like boom, 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 like all back to back.
Yeah.
That I think just put into perspective of like, oh, what? I cared about what people think I look like? Because like it made me it was a wake up call very early in life that there's like worse and bigger, harder shit out there. Yeah. And then I got through the hard shit. So now I'm like, okay, we're good.
Right.
You know, I'm prepared now.
Yeah. That kind of rule of comparison.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, at a young age, if you have to go through some tough shit when you're young, it really, I know it feels awful and bad at the time, and you're like, am I ever going to get through this shit? But that's going to serve you so much later on in life.
It's crazy.
You know?
I have thought about that a lot as a person who's gone through hard shit young. In the moment when it was happening, I had the realization of, up until now, I used to think, you know, just old people died. Or, oh, that's going to suck one day, you know, when my grandparents die or something. That's going to be hard. But I have a long ways until that. Yeah. And then I had 2 friends die at young ages, teenagers, basically. And I was like, oh no. Like I was just like, this is happening. This is real. Right. It wasn't happening to anyone else. Yeah. Oh, this is possible. Yeah. This is a possibility now. Yeah. Now I just have to accept that. And then I think that just shifted my brain, the way I look at stuff. Instead of just being like, nothing bad can happen. It was like, no. Anything, the worst can happen, and it will happen. And it happened to me twice, basically. Already. Yeah. Like if this has happened to me already at like 19, what the fuck else is going to happen? Right.
But maybe you just got that out of your way nice and early.
Right. But, so many.
I mean, it shifts your perspective on the big thing called life. And if you're, I mean, those experiences you had to deal with so young, I mean, death is something, like you said, that you feel, oh, that's a long time away, you know? I mean, as a child, the what you have to deal with is like a death of a pet, you know, generally goldfish, which, you know, pets, goldfish, they're perfect entry level ways to get used for a child to get used to death. For sure. You know, I think, you know, especially hamsters and those small creatures that have a big quick turnover.
Hey, I had a lot though, and I loved all my pets. It was a big deal.
It is a big
when
deal,
they died.
right?
I was so sad.
But then at 19, if you got to deal with huge loss like that, oh my God. Yeah, it probably readjusted all of your priorities and thoughts. And yeah, like you just said, like if I'm no longer worried about if people think I'm pretty or not. I mean, there's other bigger shit going on here, right?
Changed my whole perspective. Because then it also made me think like, wait, I could die.
Yeah.
I thought just old people could die. Like, what do you mean young people can die?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah.
Or like, this doesn't happen to me. This happens to other people.
Yeah.
I only see it happening to other people. And then it was like, wait, I'm the person that other people are seeing it happen to now.
And do you think like seeing that fragility of life and how it just go so quickly, it made you, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but at that time when you wrote that, it seemed like you were super depressed.
Yeah.
And had dark thoughts and shit like that. So do you think having that exposure to death, it made you really appreciate life, your life, and made you at that point think this is a gift and I have to live it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think I've always kind of had that, but yeah, I think definitely made it more, and it made my focus on the people in my life more important too.
Yeah. You know, keeping journals, keeping diaries.
Yeah.
I think they're useful.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
You know, well, with your brain, I think it would be a useful exercise for you to actually get some of that out from up there and get it on paper. Not just for like having it as you can look back on it.
Yeah.
You know, in another 10 years, 20 years, and you go, well, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how much you forget, right?
I know.
But
the details.
But like twofold, double whammy for you would be, for maybe to look back on it in X number of years, but also right now to get it out from here.
To get it out, yeah.
And put it onto paper and release it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's a good exercise.
Very good exercise. I wish I'd had something similar, because I'd love to have known what that little boy was thinking also.
Yeah. Because it's like I said, it's easy to think back and think what you think you were thinking.
Exactly.
Or just the memory of something.
The memory
but then
of it.
Seeing it so clear cut.
You've got the evidence
like,
right there.
Okay.
That's valuable shit.
So also that's the advice. Keep that shit.
Yeah.
It's not hoarding. It's a, what is it, like insight for a future you.
Yeah,
like
useful.
a time capsule.
Mm-hmm. Wow, keepsake box. It's the gift that keeps giving.
Love her.
Well, it's funny, like there's some things that we've talked about in there and mentioned that kind of ties in with a little something that I've got here.
Yeah.
And, just shifting, but not complete shift. It kind of a nice smooth transition into some of this. And I think we're going to find that some of what you've just talked about finds its way in here also. So, yes.
I'm ready.
So, of course, this is episode 16.
Right.
You were born. I'm just bringing it back.
Lucky number 16.
Yeah. Lucky number 16.
Yeah.
All those things.
We're 16 again.
Yeah. We talked about why it's your number. We went into prime numbers. I don't know if we're going to keep all that.
Maybe.
Who knows?
So now you have a piece of paper out.
I do. I got my own piece of pizza.
Oh. I wish I had a piece of pizza.
Please. Right. The number 16.
Yeah.
Right. Because this is episode 16, I thought I'd look into this a little bit.
Oh.
And since it's your lucky number.
Okay.
Born on that day, etc., etc. So, have you heard of these, right? Angel numbers.
Yes.
I hadn't. I just knew, certain numbers have meanings, they can be quite subjective.
Yeah.
For people. Their lucky number, I like this number because this, that, and the other. I hadn't heard of angel numbers, so I found this quite interesting. What do you know about angel numbers?
It's like you add the thing and then it equals the thing and then that's the number, right? Or is it the 333, 222?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, I think, is 333.
Ah, okay.
At least that's the one I always see.
Okay.
If I look at the clock, it's
thing.
Always 333.
Yeah.
And then I know they each mean something.
They do. They have their own meanings, spiritual meanings and things like that. So I had no idea it was angel numbers. I just thought it was numerology and they all have meanings and shit like that. So this was quite interesting for me. And there are sequences which are believed to convey messages from a spiritual realm and your guardian angels, which I kind of like that idea.
Number. Yeah.
Now, just pinch of salt with all of this, of course. These are sequential numbers that we often see repeated in various contexts. You mentioned the clock, so it's also dreams. They can pop up in your dreams.
I don't know if I see like words and numbers and stuff in my dreams.
I was wondering.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
I don't know if I have. I can't say that I have. Even if, looking at a clock in my dream.
Right, no.
I don't know if numbers actually pop up for me in dreams.
Maybe they just mean like things come in threes in your dreams or like in twos.
And that's all interpretation.
Right.
Okay. So license plates, road signs, times displayed on clock.
But time out, pause.
Yeah.
Is this just the manifesting kind of thing too, or subconsciously you're
Absolutely.
thinking about it? So then of course you're going to notice it more.
Of course. Yeah.
The car stuff.
Yeah. I'm inclined to believe that more so than the luck side of things.
Definitely.
We'll get into that.
It's just proven.
Yeah.
And I've like done it.
You've done it so you can prove it. Tell me.
Like,
what do you mean?
I am my own test subject when it comes to that. You think of something, then and you're like, oh fuck, it's happening.
Yes.
It's the same thing with dreams. Like people are like dream interpretation, right? Which there's some unexplainable things in dreams that I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But most of the time it's like, oh, that person was in my dream because I was just talking about them today, or
exactly,
I just saw this.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dreaming about it.
Yeah.
It's very easily interpreted in that way.
Very much so. And it's almost like a self-prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the shit that's on my mind currently. Yeah. It's the stuff that my brain is thinking about. So obviously my subconscious is also going to think about it.
Yeah.
So then it filters into your dreams. And,
it's the same thing with like if you're just focused on negative stuff, like bad stuff's going to happen. Like you just, but that's, it's not saying it's happening more. You're just noticing them more because that's what you're focused on.
And then especially if you say, oh, I'm such a this, I'm such a that, I'm such a loser, I'm so unlucky, I'm so, guess what? That shit's going to find you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, you've made that part of your identity, right? Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden that is what you're going to see.
Yeah. You're just, everything else is going unnoticed, or you're focusing more on those things. Yeah. So it feels like it's all that there is. Yeah. For sure. So anyway. I think
that, just on that a bit more, I think that's a humongous key part to getting through life is your focus.
And that's your whole, the mindset of it all, the positive.
What do you focus on? Where's your attention?
Yeah. And
just keep that thing to the forefront. Mm-hmm. And don't let the other shit in. Yeah. And it's just going to feed on itself.
Yeah, easier said.
I know. So, back to this. On the number 16, there, some interpretations suggest that people influenced by the number 16 are destined for great achievements and success.
Wow.
Look at that. It can indicate that you should, or you do, trust in your own intuition.
Oh.
And it's a reminder to embrace change and challenges as opportunities for personal transformation. Number 16 is deeply rooted in themes of inner wisdom, old soul. There you go.
There you go.
Manifestation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Called out. Being called out.
And the power of maintaining positive thoughts.
That's what we were just saying.
And all of this aligned to your life's purpose and soul mission.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Individuals who are guided by the number 16, they can create a harmonious environment that fosters growth and happiness by maintaining a healthy balance between work and personal time, or giving and receiving in relationships. So it's about balance. Balance.
It's a balanced number.
And if you look at it, it's 1 and 6, which 1 plus 6, 7. So number 7, that's also extremely lucky.
I should be good at gambling.
Yes.
It's a very generalized positive stuff. I feel would apply to anyone in terms of just like, this is just good advice, for anyone. I wonder what the other ones say. I mean, a bit like, because of the intuition stuff. Like I always say that. Yeah. And then
this little bit here is very interesting. The number 16 encourages individuals to take time for introspection.
That's all I do.
So you take a lot of time for that.
Too much time, yeah.
Meditative practices, that could help.
That could help shut that shit up for a second.
Yeah. And get this, journaling to connect with their inner selves.
Wow. Okay.
Through self-reflection, individuals can uncover hidden truths and understand their emotions better.
Yeah.
It tracks a little bit of what, it's broad, of course. Yeah. And then people can latch onto little pieces, bits and pieces that they're seeing in themselves anyway. But some of it definitely tracks and, it's,
for sure.
It's maybe advising a bit of journaling.
Wow.
Yeah.
What else do you have over there?
I do. You spotted something else, right?
I see something else.
Yeah, I had another.
I see something.
Another little something else. Because I thought this led into luck as well. And things like that and your perception of luck, whether it's just shit that's out of control that happens to you, or is it we have an element of say-so in luck. And I think luck, you can increase your odds, your chances of better luck with like work, preparation.
Yeah. It's easy to be like, oh, I'm so unlucky and just my luck and all this stuff. I don't think it's really such thing. It's just how you look at it, how you, like you said, how you plan. Because usually it's people who are like, I'm so unlucky, who like just don't be planning shit.
Exactly. Right.
Like, what?
Well, you could have prepped a little bit better, and then you'd have been prepared for that scenario, that situation.
Yeah.
And then you would have had experience to draw on, or a knowledge base.
Yeah.
Something to apply to that, and then you're kind of like, all right, I'm ready for now.
Yeah.
I see the situation has arisen. I prepped my mind for it, and now I know how to act rather than I'll just take it as it comes. What the fuck? I'm not in control.
Yeah.
There's a bigger conspiracy going on here. The universe is,
It's also not necessarily just like good things or bad things happen to you. Things just happen.
Yeah. File it under shit happens.
Yeah, things just happen. So
they do.
It's like how you take it, obviously there are bad things or just things that you don't want to happen.
Yeah.
People die, stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to sit here and say that's a good thing.
Right.
But yeah, you can't just be like, oh, so many bad things happen to me. Because even you can get something out of everything. Or you always do.
For sure.
Especially the bad stuff. Are you kidding me? That's like the most in hindsight stuff that you look back and you're like, oh, shoo.
Yeah.
The most boring people you meet are the people who have never had anything bad that's happened to them.
They're not living life, are they?
Or no shit they've had to go through.
Exactly.
It's the rich people's silver spoon stuff of like, oh God, I don't want to talk to you because you don't have any idea of real life.
Yeah. Yeah. Those people, the people that are not taking risks, they're like, well, if I'm passive, I do nothing, then there's nothing bad going to happen to me. But also nothing good.
Nothing good. Yeah. Because
you got to live the life.
Yeah.
I think there's so many nuances on lucky, being luck, fortunate, chance, all those things.
Yeah.
I think, chance is like there's a possibility. There's a chance that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
It may or may not happen. There's a real chance it could.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neutral, whereas luck is the thing that happens to you.
True. For me, chance is like opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, there's a chance I could do that.
Yeah.
And like all that means is like, are you going to do the things that get you there? Because a lot of the stuff that you do say, it is luck, it is chance. Like, actors, for example, they talk about Hollywood and it's like, oh, it's just random luck sometimes. But it's like you have to do a lot of work in order to even be in that pool of a chance.
They put themselves in that position in the first place.
Yeah, you can't just be sitting here doing nothing and then suddenly someone's like, oh, you're going to be famous. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, you have to like
you got to do the work.
Yeah, and that applies to all kinds of stuff where it's like people who are like, I'm so unlucky in love. I'm like, no, you're just not trying hard enough. Like you're not changing it. You're not learning and changing from these past, you're just doing the same stuff. So of course it's going to attract the same people or the same, situations that you don't want to be in. Yeah. You got to get yourself out of that, change the mindset, like evaluate. Something's going wrong here. Yeah. So you're not unlucky. You're just not changing anything.
But if you're getting the same negative results, then guess what? You're probably making the same mistake. So that's got to change.
Yeah.
I think you make your own luck to an extent. There's just shit happens like a random like lightning bolt can hit you, right?
True.
You know.
Well, you shouldn't have been standing there.
But did I increase my chances?
Right. Was I holding an umbrella in the rain?
Like, exactly. Yeah. You know, the probability of it increased by certain things that I did.
True.
Right. I'm a big firm believer on generating your own luck, getting yourself in the position, and then being aware, seizing an opportunity when it presents itself.
Yeah.
You know, actually having the mindset of, okay, this is what I've done all the work for. This is where I've been prepping myself, doing the thing, and now here's the opportunity. So I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you had another paper, but shoot, we just went on one.
We did.
Well, we said that we were going to do Teapot this week, but I don't think we're going to.
We're not going to, because we did rattle on for quite a bit.
Yeah, we just rattled. Got sidetracked, got into some stuff, out of some stuff.
Really got into some stuff.
And then I think that's it.
Yeah.
We're going to call it.
Call it donezo.
That's another one. In the bank?
It's in the bag, isn't it?
That's what they say. I almost said in the books, which is another one for the books.
It's in the books. Yeah. All right. It's in the books. 16 is in the books.
16? Gosh, we're almost to 20. That's kind of crazy.
And you know what's happening on 20? We've already called it. We're actually counting down now to 20.
Oh, wait, I forget. Yeah. It's in my tip of my brain. What?
Bring it back. What were we going to do on 20? Because we did.
Oh, the big one, the other big one. Look, it came back. It was in there.
It was in there.
Ooh, okay. Then we need some super lighthearted ones up until then.
We sure do.
Yeah.
We need.
Well, we don't have to hold ourselves to that. You know, we can do whatever.
Sure.
The hell we want.
Sure, we're making it up as we go along.
It's
if you can't
podcast.
tell, yeah,
we make the rules.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah,
that's it.
All right.
Need some food.
Fair play. Yeah, you were talking about pizza earlier.
Gosh, I do want that. All right. Well, here we go. Oh, the outro. Duh. Almost just said, all right, bye.
Bye. We're going to cook some food.
Yeah. You guys say it with me now. You can follow us on Instagram at Tea and Toasties Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube at Tea and Toasties. Follow, like, subscribe, leave the reviews, all the freaking things. And we will talk at you guys next week.
And
TTFN. Bye-bye.
Laters.